I've been going nuts for the last half hour.
Have you?
Yeah, I've been making throw rods for stub switches.
Okay, so what's that all about?
Well, what I do is I take a rail joiner, cut it in two,
Yeah.
make sure the rail slides in the rail joiner,
Uh-huh.
and then I solder the rail joiner to a piece of printed circuit board.
Yes.
So that when the switch machine throws the switch points, the rails slide inside the rail joiner, so that the rails slide over and line up with the switch and don't get twisted as the switch moves over. It's a bit of work to do it, but it pays dividends in the long run.
Where did you get that idea from?
Haven't got a clue.
It was something that you started doing a long time ago?
It's something I've done ever since I built my first stub switch way back when.
Okay.
Yeah, because it just, and I'm sure I picked it up from another modeler, but it just works, and it works really well.
All right, so you sort of gave us a verbal description. Maybe you could point out some of the things here just using your knife.
Well, see what I've done here. There's my circuit board.
Yeah.
I've gapped it here.
Yeah.
I've drilled the hole for the throw machine mechanism.
Right.
And I've marked where I want to cut it.
Yeah.
So there's one piece of code 55 rail joiner here, and there's another here. And lo and behold, the rails slide inside.
Okay.
So that when the switch turns, now these are a bit tight yet, but you'll see the rails will just move over like that.
Yes.
Yeah?
Right.
That's a little bit exaggerated.
Yeah.
So there it is. And then you pull that off, there's the rail joiner, there's the other one.
Huh.
You've got to be careful,
Yes.
because if you do it wrong, you'll solder the rail to the rail joiner, and there's no point in that.
Right, so you're using the rail, you're sliding it in the rail joiner to hold it in place. But you want to keep that part free, obviously, so you need very little solder.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to do is I'm using the rails so I can gauge it.
Right.
And make sure the rails are the right distance apart, and they're also holding the rail joiner in place.
Uh-huh.
Works very well.
Oh, neat.
And then you just persuade yourself to bingo.
There you go.
Good for installation.
Huh. Neat.
Yeah.
Gotta like that.
My big frog. So I just take a little bit, off the bottom at the edge here to make it round.
Yes.
That way it doesn't get hooked on the left.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then we just prance down here and set it there.
So there's already one installed in place there.
No, what I'm doing here is I'm going to put a piece of printed circuit board under these four rails.
Okay.
What that will do is it'll hold these rails in gauge where I want them,
Yeah.
and it will allow me to be assured that this rail is always hot.
Oh, okay.
So I don't have to worry about putting feeders in. So this rail will be hot, feeding through here into this rail, and it'll always be hot. But it's gapped here.
Yes.
Now when I get to the point where it's all working, I will fill each one of these gaps with a bit of plastic,
Yep.
glue it in and shape it all to match the rail. Then that way I know the gaps won't close on me.
Right.
All right, and I also get rid of this click, click, click on the...
And then you gap your frog ends as well.
Yeah, both ends are gapped.
Yeah.
All right, so the frog is fed through the switch motor.
So it's done almost the same as the electro-frog style switches that you can purchase.
Yeah.
Except you're going to have live power to your rails that are in the middle of the switch.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And what I'll do here is, when this is in, I will cut both rails here and here. Then I'll slide this piece on.
Yeah.
And then shove the switch motor in underneath, and away we go.
I guess we'll see that a little later on.
We've got to work fast then.
Great.
Okay?
Yeah.
So what I'm doing here, rather than mess around trying to make sure this piece of printed circuit board stays in one place, I'm just going to jack it up with a slightly modified tie. Of course, you realize it's not going to go in exactly the way it's supposed to.
Yeah. It's like a shim almost, eh?
Yeah, I'm just shimming it up.
It forces it up against the rail.
Yeah, it brings the printed circuit board up against the rail. At least it's supposed to. This end is off. Actually, this guy is just a bit thick yet. That's better. Come on. I think we're in. I think we're good. Now, to make sure I'm getting a good joint, I'm going to put a little of this Stay Clean on. And I always put the lid on so I don't knock the darn thing over.
When you call it Stay Clean, is that sort of like a...
It's a cleaning solution that one of the manufacturers used to sell. And one of the buddies in New York found me some and bought me a gallon of it. He paid next to nothing for it. Alright, so we're just going to come in here. There we go. Now, these will all stay engaged, and yes, they were engaged before I soldered them together.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's hope they haven't moved. Now I just pull these out.
And then save them for the next go
And
around.
move over to the next one.
So what's holding the track engaged right now?
Spikes.
Oh, okay.
And I have two different spikes, one of which I'm very disappointed in.
Probably the new ones you bought.
No, well, yeah, actually the new ones I bought a bunch of spikes from Jeff, which are under the Walther's name.
Yeah.
But I'm told they're the old Shenhou Hero spikes. And they look like that.
Right.
And these are the ones I bought last week.
Right.
And the heads are way too big.
Yes.
So
those are Atlas ones that by the look
no,
of them.
they're micro-engineering.
Oh.
And I mean, this is micro-engineering track and rail joiners. I think they're all top-notch.
Yeah.
But these spikes, that head is way too big.
Yeah.
And there's a sample down on that switch, you can see them.
Mm.
So I stopped using those, and fortunately I was able to get more of the others.
Well.
A little disappointed. Yeah, this guy's going to play. Come on.
So those are your Shimoharas.
Shimoharas, yeah.
Well, you know, every place is a little different, right?
Well, if you look at
the fit's probably a little tighter there for whatever reason.
yeah, if you look at the rail over the years, the rail webs and the whole profile of the rail itself has changed time and time again, and it's very noticeable when you go to use older rail against newer rail.
Hmm.
Okay, we're in like flint.
I don't think the NRA would have changed their specifications. It's
Well,
just
the various manufacturers, they
trying to save money or something by changing the amount of metal in them, or
yeah, I told you it was engaged.
yeah. Okay, I didn't not believe you.
Well, I should have checked, but I didn't. But I knew it was engaged because I had worked on it yesterday.
And nothing would change overnight. The squirrels didn't come along or anything like that.
I don't know. I've heard the squirrels playing around with this test truck at night. I'm sure they're having races around here.
Yeah, they get up on the little truck there and away they go.
Away they go. I think they're leaving a note they want another truck out so they can race down the 2 tracks here.
So what sort of solder are you using there, Bill?
This is something I bought at Active. I don't know what it is. It's doing the job.
This is just a fine electronics solder, I guess, of some sort.
I should have bought something a little heavier though.
Yeah. I just bought a big roll at Gervais. I think it'll last me for a lifetime.
Well, yeah, I've got enough here.
You think?
It's got a ponytail too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, there it is. That's 2 done.
Yeah.
We won't lose these. Now I'm going to leave that one for now because I want to move the bench. So the next trick will be sticking the 2 motors.
Okay. So what kind of motors are you using?
I'm going to use the Tortoises.
Yeah.
This is a used one I bought.
Yeah.
But it's still usable. I'll use these circuits instead, and this is a new one.
Yeah.
Alright. The whole layout is working with Tortoise switch machines. I have over 80 of them on the layout now.
Right.
And the only one I had fail was my own silliness. So I was underneath the layout working with the old hot soldering iron, and I got too close to one of the switch machines, not realizing it, and I melted the casing.
Oh, that's not good.
So I'm thinking, oh well, you know, what the hell, it's damaged. Well, I took it apart, figured out how to fix it, and I cut all the plastic out of the way that was interfering, and I got the son of a gun back working. It's underneath Telluride, and you can watch the mechanism working as the switch goes, because it's all exposed. So I salvaged the beast.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
they're pretty dependable.
They've been very dependable. I put these in long time ago.
Yeah.
When they first came out, and I'm very happy with them. The thing is, all your wiring contacts are here, and I do change the throw wire. I find the wire they give me is a little too light.
You use piano wire or something?
I use
like
a 32 thou piano wire.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I find that a little more reliable than the wire they give me. But other than that, that's the only thing I change.
Now the contacts underneath, can you explain a little bit about what they're about?
Well, the outside contacts, they work for actually throwing the switch motor.
Okay.
So you have a double pole, double throw switch in your layout.
Yeah.
So when you throw it one direction, the switch moves one way.
Yeah.
You throw it the other direction, it moves the other way. The other 3, there's 6 here, so 3 of these go for track feeders.
Right.
So this one is the frog on this set, and these 2 are the main rails. You can also hook signals up to this if you want.
Okay.
But there's no signals down here, so I wind up with a spare, so I'll salvage this set.
So when you're talking about track feeder wires,
So what happens is
you're dealing with, in this case, because it's a DCC layout, that's ACC 15 volts.
Yeah.
Okay, and 1 feeder to one side and 1 feeder to the other.
So the frog will go to this wire.
Okay.
And then this feeder here will go to either this one or this one, depending on how the mechanism works.
Okay.
All right, and you just temporarily, this one you can hard solder. These 2, I always just hold them in place until I make sure I've got it wired the right way, and then I just solder it in and it's done.
All right.
Yeah. And these will go under like that.
Yeah.
So that's the next step.
So you've pre-drilled down through your whole...
Yeah, I came in with a big drill and I bored it out. I always drill it bigger
than it should be.
Than it should be. That way I don't get skunked.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to have it...
And I went underneath with the Tortoise switch machine installation tool and figured out where my hole is and marked where my screws go. Actually, I did it this way, I think. The trouble with spline road bed, you want to make sure you have enough room around your switch machines if you're going to screw them on.
For sure.
Of course, you can also use the hot glue gun.
Yeah.
Another modeler's favorite tool. Well, that's it. That's a handy little thing to have. Okay? I don't know whether you can see it here, but this is the wire that comes with the Tortoise. And this is the wire I replace it with.
Yeah.
I find that that little extra wire just makes it a little stronger and you get a better control switch.
Where do you find that wire?
Oh, I got this at the hobby shop.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. So, give it a twist. Oh, we're in.
So,
Now the screw went there. I need a Phillips. You drive this in here, but you need one of those silly star type screwdrivers. I'm not a fan of these star screws. I like the square heads. You don't have to put as much pressure on.
yeah.
Okay, so there is my new wire. That will go up through the layout,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll cut off what I don't need. The other thing I do want to do is just give it a little bit of a twist this way. So now it's going vertical.
Oh, okay.
Okay, now we got to cut some rails first. Okay.
We are cutting the gaps.
Now what I've done now is I've cut off the excess rail here
Yep.
and cut the switch here so it functions.
Yes.
It's supposed to function. And now I'll put the slider on that.
Oh, I see how it works now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You need that loose so it'll slide back and forth.
I'm just going to cut this other one while I'm here. There. Put this out of the way so I don't break it.
That's something that is pretty important to just deburr everything after every cut, eh?
Take the burr off. And I like to just come around the top of the rail like this.
You file down the end just a
And
bit.
just round off my phone. Now just think, if we were working with real 55-pound rail, this wouldn't be a problem. You might have a sore back at the end of the day, but... And I like to do these areas here too.
Just make sure there's no bumps that things could trip over.
Well, there are times when, as the truck goes through, particularly on this route, if it doesn't quite line up right, the flange may catch this rail and cause a derailment.
Right.
So if you're taking any sort of burr off, it'll slide through.
Oh, okay.
Alright? Now let's see if we can get this beast on.
So now you're slipping it through the rail joiner.
Yeah. There it is there. I may move these spikes back a bit.
Give it a little more flexibility and
Yep.
more smooth curve.
Yep. So, helps if you keep it lined up.
Yeah, you're a little bit too far over.
There's also a bit of a rough spot here. There's a bit of a rough spot there I'm going to have to work on. But that's it. Now you put your switch motor on, you put a couple of stop blocks here so that when the switch moves this way, it doesn't go any further.
Mm-hmm.
And the same, when it goes this way, it hits this stop block and doesn't go any further.
Yeah.
Now I'll mount my switch stand here,
Mm-hmm.
which will indicate which way I'm lined. So the next trick is put the switch motor in. There's something here I'm not happy with. Yeah, it's a bit of solder. Let's see if that works a little better. That's better. The other thing you want to do is you're going to want to put a couple of pieces of wire across here to keep the rails from being lifted. So you put a couple of pieces of rail across here and here.
Mm-hmm.
Now that won't cause a short because you're simply driving into wood. You don't want to touch this. So if you put a piece of wire here or here, that'll stop the switch machine from pushing the rail up.
Gotcha.
Alright, so let's get
A
on with it.
preventer.
Through the hole. Probably should have shortened it, but what the heck. It's like building an ivory tower.
At least you're not trying to fuss to see how to get it up through the hole with all that extra wire.
Yeah, I'm going to cheat. Okay, you got it. Now, if the marks are right, I set that guy there and there. Yeah, I lost my screw.
So you don't put a little drill and pre-drill just to give you a spot to start, you just...
Well, I line up with the pencil mark, and these screws have got a real good tooth on them.
So they go right in.
And they just dig right in.
That's good.
And of course, lying on something that's a little more comfortable than the wood does help. I need an air screw gun.
Probably go right through the plastic.
Okay, let's see what we got. I'm just going to cut it off about here. Probably even faster to get the Dremel out and do this. There. Not bad. Not bad. Just needs a little bit of adjustment. Walk here.
Yeah.
to hold that there. And this one is just a touch off. I may have to move that machine, just ease the screw off and inch it over a bit.
Okay.
But that's how it works.
Simple mechanism.
And all you do is wire it up, apply track power, hopefully you've got all your gaps set, and you can run trains. I'm going to go down and just try moving that one screw.